I don't have to tell you things are bad. Everybody knows things are bad. Everybody's out of work or scared of losing their job. The dollar buys a nickel's worth. Banks are going bust. Shopkeepers keep a gun under the counter. Punks are running wild in the street, and there's nobody anywhere who seems to know what to do, and there's no end to it. The air is unfit to breathe, and our food is unfit to eat. And we sit watching our TVs while some local newscaster tells us that today we had 15 homicides and 63 violent crimes, as if that's the way it's supposed to be. We know things are bad, worse than bad. It's like everything everywhere is going crazy, so we don't go out anymore. We sit in the house, and slowly the world we're living in is getting smaller, and all we say is, please, at least leave us alone in our living rooms. Let me have my toaster and my TV and my steel-belted radios, and I won't say anything. Just leave us alone. Well, I'm not going to leave you alone. I want you to get mad. I don't want you to protest. I don't want you to riot. I don't want you to write to your congressman because I wouldn't know what to tell you to write. I don't know what to do about the depression and the inflation and the Russians and the crime in the street. All I know is that first, you've got to get mad. You've got to say, I'm a human being. God damn it. My life has value. So, I want you to get up now. I want all of you to get up out of your chairs. I want you to get up right now and go to the window, open it, and stick your head out and yell, I'm as mad as hell, and I'm not going to take this anymore.
Well, hello there, ladies and gentlemen, and good evening. It's I'm looking at things. Grasp mediocrity from the jaws of real leadership. That's hilarious. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Look, hey, we've got a lot going on. There are a lot of things in play. You might say there are a lot of balls in the air, and there's not enough hands to grab them, I guess. It is what it is. We'll try to grab all the balls that we can and get you the information that you need. That's what we'll do for you here. It is the 561st episode of the Political Spotlight. I am your host, Kristopher H. Bilbrey. Producer Kate is in the control duck doing what she does, making sure everything runs smoothly and making sure everything's working. I don't know, Kate, if you didn't see my message, I know that you're doing something. You literally just sent me something. If you can screenshot that to me, because I didn't get to check that out. I'm interested in that. So we've got a lot of things to talk about today, folks. We had a press conference early this morning. We had a Board of Works meeting today. I don't actually know that we'll get to the Board of Works meeting today. It'll probably be tomorrow before we do. But we've got big breaking news that came out of City Hall today. And I tell you, I was talking to somebody earlier today, and I always say, and I've said on this program many, many times, I don't have regrets. I just don't have regrets. I don't have many regrets. Lost my father almost 10 years ago, and wish I would have had more time with him. Wish we would have had more time. Hate cancer's a bitch. But we had a lot of good times, and we packed a lot into the 36 years that I had. He packed a lot into the 56 years he had on this earth. I just don't have many regrets. I want more time. I wish I would have had more time, but I don't have regrets there. I don't have regrets. I have a couple regrets in life. I have one that I don't mention, and it's nothing major. It's everybody like, why? It's something I keep secret. But I have a regret that I wish that I would have went into the military out of high school. Although not doing that probably kept me safe, because that was right around the 9/11 time. And good Lord, I would have probably been killed or something. So who knows? That's a regret. But then I have regrets on this program, and there are not many. But I regret not mentioning last night what was going to happen today at the press conference. I knew last night what would be happening today, And I should have said it. I let fear stop me from saying it. And that's not something that I do here very frequently. A lot of times, the things that I talk about specifically are sourced material that I get from sources, and I've done the work. Last night, I had heard people leading up telling me things that was leading to this, but I just had this gut feeling, and it was like, tell me, is the gut feeling in the room? Is it looking at us? It was that strong, but I didn't have actual confirmation. And I almost just said, screw it, do it. I had that feeling. It was like it was in my throat, but I didn't do it. And then this afternoon, while we were at the press conference, I was standing back there just kind of smiling and kicking myself, not so silently. And I don't know, it was a burden, but we'll talk about that. We've got a couple of other things. We have an important meeting tomorrow that we're going to talk about, and I'm going to read a statement about the meeting. And then we have I have to do something that I don't do frequently, or don't feel like I have to do, because I feel like most people grasp this, at least most of my listeners, most of my viewers, most of my friends, most of you here have a pretty good lock on this. But there are some out there in the world, and there might be some that watch this from time to time, that do not have a solid grasp on the difference between reality and fantasy. And I really need to have a discussion about what the difference is between reality and fantasy. And we're going to talk a little bit about what Hollywood movie magic is, what that means. And so we're going to talk a little bit about that. And of course, if you're like, what are you talking about? That part is connected to the Whitestown Cleaning Lady Shooting incident that occurred on Wednesday, November 5th, 2025. And we're going to talk about that at the very, very end. So I'm not going to bore you with all of that now. We're going to talk about the most important thing. Hey, but before we do that, it's that time again, ladies and gentlemen. You have to do your part. We don't ask a lot from you here. We just ask that you show up, that you watch, and that you hit that like button when we ask you to hit that like button. Smash that like button, hit that thumb on YouTube. Share the show with everyone you know. Help spread the word. Get the word out. Do all of that. And if you're so inclined to communicate with us, please consider doing so. And all right, well, we will get into it. So ladies and gentlemen, today I answered the call that a lot of other news personalities, media personalities, journalists, whatever, answered, which was the call for a press conference up at City Hall in Muncie. And the press conference was specifically to cover information about Muncie City Parks. Muncie City Parks. Now, I said last night on the program that it wasn't going to talk about Muncie City Parks, that was their way to kind of play cover until we all got there, that the meeting was specifically going to be about Prairie Creek Reservoir. Okay, that's what I said. I knew it. It is what it is. And I had this just overwhelming, strong feeling that I knew what was going to come today. And so we showed up, and I know that this is out there. I know that a lot of people have watched it. I know some still have not. So we are going to play bits and pieces, or maybe just run through this whole thing just to get her done so you guys can see it and so we can have it out here. So we're going to start off with the press conference. I'm going to let you guys see what occurred at the press conference. For those of you that watched this, for those of you that did not see it, I know if you watched it, you're like, oh God, we don't need to see it again. I don't want to see it. It's important to listen to it, to watch it again, so we'll be able to talk about the different things that he says. I'm going to play it, and we're not going to do what we normally do, where I'll play it all the way through, and then we go back through. I'm going to play it, and I'm going to stop it after he says certain things and talk to you about what I'm feeling. I'm in this room. We're here. This room was packed. We're on the 3rd floor of City Hall right here. This is where we're at. We're right outside. Those doors lead into his main mayor's office. There's a bunch of different offices in there. So we're kind of out in the hallway here at City Hall. And we're going to start off with him coming like out these doors. Like he's right behind these doors right now. I don't know if you can tell. Oh, you can't even see him on screen. There you go. That would help. Sorry, Kate stepped away, and she would normally tell me, hey, you don't have anything on screen, idiot. Okay, so where we are here is we are right outside the mayor's main office here. And if you can see between the Indiana flag, the blue flag here, and this white flag, which is the city of Muncie flag. So over here, we have the American flag. We have the POW flag over there. We have the Indiana flag, and we have the Muncie flag that's got the Muncie seal. Between the blue flag, that's the Indiana flag, and the white Muncie flag, there are these windows. And at the very bottom, the very top of the bottom window here, you see this little black thing where my cursor is. I'm going to remove the cursor, and that's Dan's shoulder. He was just kind of like hiding behind this door until somebody like texted him or something. And then he walked out this door, and I want you to see when he walks out the door, he looks like a deer in headlights. Now watch this. Watch. This was very strange seeing how he reacted when he first walked out the door.
Well, I appreciate everybody being here today. Thank you so much.
Very strange. Okay. Oh man, what is going on with this sound? Damn it. This is not me recording it. This is the city of Muncie's recording. So we'll just have to bear with the sound here. So bear with me.
I will say that I'm going to go through some information, and then I'll open it up for some questions. And again, appreciate everybody being here this afternoon. What we're going to talk about is Prairie Creek Reservoir. For those who don't know, the Prairie Creek Reservoir is what we believe to be definitely one of the top 5 size-wise city parks in the country. We think it might be second, but we believe that it's definitely top 5. It is a over 2,000 acre park. It has over 1,200 acres of water. It's the home of Ironman. It's the home of multiple triathlon events, multiple fishing tournaments, a number of other things. We, as a city, have really enjoyed what we have at Prairie Creek, and just a great asset for our community. So that's what we're going to discuss. And Mariah, if you could come here for a second. Mariah is a Ball State intern. Make sure that anyone that's the press gets these. If they're extra, they can go to department heads. So I have a little map here that's getting passed out now that just shows Muncie city limits and where Prairie Creek Reservoir is. It is not in the city limits, but we do have a long-term lease on that particular property, and we have a park on that particular property. The second page
Stand by.
shows the
We're at 221. We're going to do something that might be able to help you guys here. I'm going to put this up on the screen. We'll be able to, it's the same volume level, but there is some, there are closed captions that might be able to help.
And is a wonderful, wonderful venue. And then there's a little starred section on that second page, which is what I'm going to discuss here as a reason for this particular press conference. And that is what we call the North Shore Campground. So the third page is an image of the North Shore Campground. These all came from Beacon. They're not professionally prepared. They were copied by our team to have something to hand out in case there were people who didn't know where Prairie Creek Reservoir was.
And so I got a copy of these. They passed these out to the media that were there, and I got a copy of the 3 pages. And as he's saying right here, this is basically just it was from Beacon, and all they did simply was show. They showed the city of Muncie and Delaware County. The first page showed the city of Muncie and Delaware County, and so it showed like this is on Google, but so I'll show you this. It showed like this. This is Delaware County, city of Muncie, and it showed Prairie Creek. Then the second page showed Prairie Creek blown up, so it showed you this, and then the third page showed you the area in question. And so while the whole Prairie Creek is the park, and there are different areas around here, the part that we're going to be talking about specifically is this part, ladies and gentlemen, right here. So from the water's edge all the way around to the tip here, down, over, around, and then right through here. So the road, all of this area, okay, this is what's referred to as Prairie Creek Reservoir's North Shore. All right. This is where what's called the long-term camping is. And when I say long-term, I mean there are people here that get the lease and they go and they're there for the entire season of camping, okay, which is from spring until fall. They are not allowed to be out there to camp at this point in time. They are not allowed to be out there during the winter. They cannot live out there. You don't live out there full time. It's just summertime camping. Now, there are some people who have had their RVs out there. They pay for winter storage and do all of that stuff. And they've been out there for years and years and years. And it feels like they live out there, but it's all, through the yearly lease, yada, yada, yada. Now, I do want to be very careful, and I do want to talk about this area here on the South Shore. There is camping that happens here on the South Shore, and you can rent spaces and you can go set up a tent. And then all along the first road right here where my cursor is, there are a handful of cabins of small, like the old, like you see the commercial for the she sheds. It's just a little, it's like a little shed that you literally can fit a bed in and maybe a microwave. I don't know exactly what's in there. There's like a bed or maybe 2 beds at maximum, and you can go and fit, you would be hard pressed to fit 4 people in there, like a family, like a mom and a dad and 2 kids. You could probably do it, but it would be better for a dad and a son, a mom and dad, husband and wife, or husband and wife and a kid. It's not really ideal for a family or whatnot. So it's very, very minimal camping. There's no bathroom there. You have to use the bathrooms on the park in the park. And it's very short term. So what we're going to be talking about, ladies and gentlemen, is we are not going to be talking about this. Everything is going to be focused on this North Shore, okay? And just so you can kind of get an understanding, this is what the North Shore looks like when the campers are there, okay? We got piers all lined up around here. Here are the campers. We've been told, and as you can see here, you can probably go through and count it if you so wanted to do that. We've been told that the lease that the city of Muncie made with the Indiana American Water Company was that there are spaces here for 54 campers. 54. We have been told that that number has ballooned to 234 campers. 234. So it is what it is. To show you what the other side looks like, okay, here you can see you could camp out here. Here are these little huts. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's 5 of them. And you can see here where people camp out here and do all of that. Do all of that. So it is what it is. Now, in all fairness, because I see Kate said, well, that's Dan's fault. It's not ballooned up to 234 under the Ridenour administration. That's happened under Ridenour. It's happened under Tyler. It's happened under McShirley. It's happened under Cannon. It's been happening since the 70s and 80s. It's literally just grew and grew and grew and grew and grew. And you're all right. It's because Muncie, the administration, wanted those fees. You know, Dan gets to wear that cape, that hat, and sit in that seat for a little bit for the first full term, and for the the last little bit, he gets some of that responsibility himself. So does Dennis Tyler. So does Sharon McShirley. So does Dan Cannon. And on and on and on, all the way back since the 50s or the 60s when this thing became a thing. So this is where we're talking. We're going to go back and we're going to listen to this, and we'll go from there. So that's what he's passing out there. I just want to let you know.
Why it's important to us and why we're going to go through it. So we're going to talk about North Shore Campground. We've, of all of our parks that we have in the city, we've probably had more challenges with the North Shore Campground than any other park area that we have. And I'm not even sure that it's real close, but I'm just going to go through some of the issues that we've had. And these are some complaints from people who have been staying in the North Shore Park, but others who have been in and around that area. So one is that the sites are too close together. They're really packed in. It's a campground. People bring in their trailers, their RVs, and some will leave them for the entire summer, but they're really close together. You walk out the door. And
star Brenda Greider's comment there if you can. If you can star that, because I want to come back to that Brenda Greider comment. That's going to be really big. Wait till you hear all this, Brenda.
You're right on somebody else's site. We've had security issues. We've had issues where there have been items stolen from one place. We've had other types of security issues involved. We've had we've had expressed to us some concerns about bathroom safety and going to some of the bathhouses. We've had numerous traffic issues. We've even had a vehicle run in the lake, people speeding, young kids, when I say young, driving age kids making poor decisions, and we're worried about the safety of the residents.
I'm also going to talk to you guys about something that I just recently found out and I had not heard about, and I want to ask if anybody here knew about this. An employee of the city of Muncie back a while ago, not too long ago, it's not been too crazy long, the last 2 months, 3 months maybe, was underage and had been partying out at one of the campers that some of the city parks employees were out at the camper, was underage drinking, made a Taco Bell run into the city and came back out. While he was coming back out, crashed his car into a tree and died. Unimaginable, horrible loss. Died. And there's been very little said about this. Has anybody heard about this? when I heard this, I was like, what? That's a real big thing that I thought they would have made a. Okay, wait. So timing issues is here. Can you tell me? All right, so tell me timing issues if you can, sir. What's true and what's not about that? Because I'm starting to look into that right now, but I would like to know what is true, what's not true. If you can give us a rundown. Obviously, nobody knows who you are here. I know who you are. I will never release that. They couldn't torture it out of me. But if you can give us some background. He died, no drink. So he wasn't drinking. Okay. Okay. So he was not drinking. He was speeding. But there were some city people, from what I've heard, if that's correct, if you can clarify, there was like a little party going out there, and but he was not drinking. So oh yes, Rhonda. Okay, Rhonda's my mother, for those that don't know. Yes, okay. I thought that's who that was. I was not sure. But apparently he worked part-time in some kind of part-time capacity. But I guess the thing is, I thought that they would have made kind of a bigger stink about this. But one of the supervisors out there was terminated, and not much more. It was just kind of shh. He was camping with his cousin that works for the park. No drinking at all. Okay. That's good to know. Were there other city employees out there, or were it just those two people? And I think there was some question on whether or not they actually rented the cabins or they didn't rent the cabins, if they were given the cabins without having to pay. I don't know. I'm looking into all of this at a very, very early stages because I just found out about this. I was just really shocked that there's not been more said about this. Okay, let's move forward.
We've had people ask for electrical upgrades. I'll talk a little bit about that further here in a minute. We have some wastewater upgrades that we would like to do that we want to take care of. There have been a lot of complaints about late night noise.
Okay.
And late night parties. And we have certain rules, and some of those are not always followed 100%. We also have a challenge that it's a city park, but it's not technically in the city limits. And so we have 4 different entities that help provide the public safety component, and that would be the Muncie Police Department. But we also have
there's
the
5.
Delaware County Sheriff's Department. We have the Selma Police Department, and then on the water is DNR.
And then
So
Indiana State Police.
4 different entities trying to provide the safety issues. The lease with our landlord calls for 54 campsites on that particular location, but over the years that has grown to where when I took office, the number was 234. But we haven't added any since I've been in office, but that's what it was up to by the time I took office. And that was a challenge, and quite frankly, it's too many. It's too many. So the city of Muncie has some goals that we'd like to accomplish, and I'm just going to go through some of those goals, and then we'll go through how we're going to make some of those. We hope to make some of those things happen. We want to provide an environment where there's proper planning of these campsites, to where there's.
Wait. All right, I want to go back and listen to this. What did he say here? Let's listen to this.
We hope to make some of those things happen. We want to
provide an environment where there's proper planning.
An environment where there's proper planning of these campsites.
Where there's proper planning of these campsites. So keep that in mind. We want to have proper planning of these campsites.
To where.
What? Oh, oh, come here. What?
Platting.
Plotting. Yes.
Platting.
Yes.
Not planning.
So,
He's saying
planning.
platting.
Yes. That's what I thought, because there's a discrepancy between. Yes. So like the laying out of the campsite, so it's not right on top of each other, which is
right, like
what
the
he's
plat
saying.
books
Yes.
for the city lots and stuff.
Yeah.
So they want
Thank
to
you.
plat it.
Yes. I
Good
guess
God.
that's well. I'm gonna take issue with that here in just a second, but just keep that in your mind. So thank you very much for that, Kate.
I hate to think of the expense for that one.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, here we go. Let's back this up here just a second. So yes, that's what he said there was right. What she said was right.
So the city of Muncie has some goals that we'd like to accomplish, and I'm just going to go through some of those goals, and then we'll go through how we're going to make some of those. We hope to make some of those things happen. We want to provide an environment where there's proper planning of these campsites, to where there's enough space between the units that those who are participating in that particular experience are not on top of each other. They can enjoy nature. They can be safe and have a little bit of privacy. For the entire campsite. And
we want to have we want to have safety. Okay, Glenda Davis, get ready to hear.
34 might be a little too many. We want the electrical service needs to meet that equipment that comes in. That's 2025 equipment.
Okay, so he's talking about the electrical equipment needs to be updated, because everything that's out there is for basically 1985, and everything that's coming out there now is like newer. And so they're really needing to kind of jimmy rig everything and make stuff work, and that's not safe. And so it sounds like we're going to do some updating to the campsites, to the properly platted campsites that are going to be spaced out and few and far between. So let's listen.
Instead of what we really are is 1985. That's really what we're prepared for. We want the security done right.
We want the security done right.
Make that happen. We love all the agencies that help, but we may want to do something that provides enforcement pretty clear, so that we can make sure that everybody is safe at the North Shore Campground. Effectively, what we really want to do is we want to build the North Shore campsite back better.
They're going to build back better. He kept saying that. Did anybody else use that phrasing? Have we heard anyone else using that phrasing? Dan Ridenour is literally running around saying we're going to build back better. I about fell directly through the floor into the second floor and then down to the first floor, all the way down my fat ass when he said we're going to build back better. Listen to this.
Build back better is what we want to do.
Build back better to what we want to do. I'm such a Republican. We're going to build back better. Build back better. Jesus.
And today, the first step.
Dan Ridenour. You better bet your ass I will never refer to him as anything other than that again. You I tell you, Brandon's gonna be pissed that he didn't come up with that. Oh my God. That's truly good.
Of that, Build Back Better is that we are going to announce today that we are not going to lease any sites, not one of those 234 sites in 2026.
All right there's the big news, ladies and gentlemen. I knew this last night, and I'm so pissed at myself that I did not say this. I wish I would have said it ahead of time. I knew it. Dan Ridenour just said, Dan Ridenour just, that's going to be hard to get used to. I will get used to it. Dan Ridenour just said right there that they are not leasing any of the campsites on the North Shore for 2026. So this entire section of land will not have camping on it starting next spring all throughout. So what that means, and I want to read this to you, ladies and gentlemen. I got a little bit of, and this is not like down to the penny. This is we're just kind of guesstimating here and using some rounded numbers till I get the factual figures. It cost about $1,500 a lease, a slot, a lot. So that's roughly about $400,000, $400,000 to $500,000 that the city of Muncie will not be bringing in. Now, I want to be very clear. That's not money that went to the city of Muncie. That's money that Prairie Creek brought in and they used to fund Prairie Creek. They used to pay the people that work out there, the hard men and women that work out there. Imagine how cold it was today. There were people in the water taking out the piers and working on the piers today, and these people get paid in part by that money. Understand?
I just find it really interesting that he waited
Kate?
to do this announcement until now.
Yeah.
After the budget.
Yeah. Well, number
Because
one, after the budget.
Where is that money going to come from to pay the employees now?
Yeah. Number one, after the budget for the 2026 budget. But also, can you put up the star, the comment star that I had you star?
Yeah.
I want you to notice this. They had to pay for winter storage on or before November 1st. By November 1st. So there are people out there that paid for winter storage thinking they were coming back next March. So the city of Muncie got people for $250. I don't know exactly what the winter storage is. Let's say it's no plan Dan Biden. No plan Dan Ridenour. The deal is they got a bunch of people to pay their winter storage. Now you want to tell me if I paid winter storage on November 1st and then on November 19th they tell me that we're done, I'm not going to keep my thing there until March. I'm going to rip it out now and I'm going to go tell them they can prorate for 9 days or 19 days and give me my $245 back, my $250, however much that is. Does anybody know how much the winter storage is? If someone can put it on there. And I have a message into Joan. Joan and I talk back and forth. Sometimes she likes me because of what I do. Sometimes she doesn't like me because of what I say. So on this one, we're kind of on the same page. So I'm willing. I'm also reached out to a couple other people that are off sources that I'm going to talk to.
I started that comment from Clint on there. I don't know if you want to speak to it, but it started.
Yeah, go back to that real quick. Can you throw that back up real quick? Bullshit. Me and Scotty Snotty built the surf club with sweat and bones with Ron Bonham, with our blood, sweat, and tears. That building with building back better. He's got a fight coming. Yeah. That's building with building back better. Yeah, I'm telling you, this is going to be a really, really, really strange thing. And it's going to see. Listen, the old adage in Delaware County politics, in Muncie City politics, has been for years: don't screw with Prairie Creek. If you screw with Prairie Creek, it will be a political career killer. it will be a political career killer. Now, I got to say, that's only if somebody runs against him, someone that's beatable. So all the employees are gone. The grass will be 5 foot tall in no time. Yeah, I mean, does anybody know how many employees currently work out there? Does anybody know? I don't know why there would be an extravagant fireworks display out there at this point. I mean, I guess there's still people in the water. They're not apparently going to do anything with the boats. They're only going to not allow people. Now, what he says there, if you hear him, it sounds like he says, let's go back and listen. We will come back to hear what he's saying here. I want you guys to be able to hear this. Okay, so he's basically saying, and today, really the first step.
The first step of that, Build Back Better, is that we are going to announce today that we are not going to lease any sites, not one of those 234 sites in 2026. And that's
Did you hear
every
me?
site on that north.
Listen, he says it, and then you can hear someone go, shoo. Out of all of the dumbasses in the room, that's me making that noise. That's hilarious that it picked that up. Listen to this.
It's not one of those 234 sites in 2026. And that's every site on that North Shore, which is on the maps that I provided to each of you. And that will give us the time here in 2026 for us to reimagine what that can be. We're looking at
that will give us the time to reimagine what that will be. That's a very weird that's a very weird way to say that will give us the time to replat the land like we want it and to bring back camping the way that we want it. That's not what he's just said. What he just said was it's going to let us reimagine that North Shore. It's going to let us reimagine that North Shore. I want you to think really hard about what he just said there as we continue to go on here.
At a 36, this particular section, I talked about how big the entire park is, but we have an opportunity to reimagine those 36 acres and turn it into something that's positive for our community.
Turn it into something that's positive for our community. Listen, Prairie Creek Reservoir is the unknown diamond of Delaware County. For the listen, I know it's hard to believe, apparently. I don't know for some, but there are people that don't leave and go to Florida every year. There are people that don't go to California or to Hawaii or to Mexico or to the East Coast. There are people that go to Tui Pool and they go camping out at the reservoir and they go boating out at the reservoir and it's beautiful and it's wonderful. I just, it's really crazy how he's looking at this as something apparently negative. He has the, he has the concept of an idea. Yeah. Okay. So let's continue on here.
Positive for those who were there for that campsite. And that's what we intend to do. Now, I will also say that this does not impact any of the 783 docks for the boat slips.
So it does not affect the boat slips. It's just the camping. Those are still going to be leased. And I even thought that they had too many slips. If I'm thinking right, that's strange. But let's continue going.
Those are 100%. They're going to be leased. We're intending to continue that. All the playground equipment, that's going to stay with its current makeup. The beach area, which we just did a lot of upgrades in the last year, all of that is still going to be accessible. The trails that are all on the eastern portion of the reservoir are all going to be
the trails that you can no longer ride your horses on because horses are nature, but they harm nature somehow.
utilized, and the sailing club. None of that is impacted.
And
This
the
is
sailing
all about
club, of
the
course.
North Shore campground. Essentially what we want to do, we know that many of the campers / trailers that were on the site have already been removed because the season is over. So they're being stored wherever they store them. We do have a number of those that are paid additional for winter storage. And so those will need to be removed by those particular owners by March 31st. And then we're going to reimagine that site. That's what our intent is. It will provide us with a clean slate. It will allow us to do what is necessary to reimagine that site. We're going to get a number of people involved. We want input. And so I'm going to talk with some county officials. I'm going to talk with camping enthusiasts. I'm going to talk with Indian American Water. I'm going to talk with Parks Board leadership. I'm going to talk with our park superintendent. I'm going to talk with other interested parties so that we can, when we come back, we're going to have something that is positive and fits the needs of our community in the city of Muncie on those 36 acres. It's a real opportunity, and again, it's to reimagine and build back better whatever we end up putting on that particular 36-acre site that's on a 1,200-acre lake.
Okay, I want to talk about this for a second here. Let me
wonderful opportunity for our
let me pull this
citizens.
back up here. 1 second.
Our purpose is we want to be in the city of Muncie on those 36 acres. It's a real opportunity with Parks Board, those particular owners by March 31st.
Okay, right here.
The season is over, so they're being stored wherever they store them. We do have a number of those that are paid additional for winter storage.
Right now, I'm going to tell the mayor of Muncie, I'm going to tell Dan Ridenour, if you do not want this to be a total dump shit show in your lap, sir, you need to go through, starting tomorrow, you need to find out how many people have paid you for winter storage, and you need to refund those people their winter storage fee that they paid, and you need to take that out of your edit or whatever. You need to fill that in with your edit. I don't know. I feel like you should not have allowed people to pay the winter storage. You shouldn't. This is how Ridenour does this. Because I'm going to tell you right now, this is not something that he just came up with yesterday. This is not something that he just came up with on Monday. He had a meeting on Monday, and we're going to talk about that meeting in just a moment. Keep in mind, there was also a Parks Board meeting last night, and they were talking about the appeals process for people who've been told they're not welcome back. They were even talking about the appeals process last night. The Park Board is made up of 5 members. 3 of the 5 members had no clue that this was going to happen. The employees out at Prairie Creek learned about this today when the citizens of Muncie did. 33 people are paid at Prairie Creek employees. That includes part-time. Okay, that's good to know. Thank you. Thank you for that, Kate. Those 33 people found out today at 1:30 when everybody else did. That's not leadership. He should have told those parks people that and given them the chance to ask questions, because I started getting a lot of concerned people calling me about this. The Parks Board did not know about this until 1:30 today. 2 of their members did, Brad Marshall and Mark Irvin, but the rest of them did not learn about this. They did not learn about this. So let's continue going on here.
And so those will need to be removed by those particular owners by March 31st. And then we're going to reimagine that site. That's what our intent is. It will provide us with a clean slate. It will allow us.
They got to be out of there.
They
got to be out of there by March 31st. Okay, so everything has to be out of there by basically the start of next year's season. So it's going to be empty so they can reimagine. They can reimagine the site. Like, look, you know what you could do? You could go and you could have a park, you could have a spot, and you could remove every third spot. Or you could park 1 and remove 2. Park 1 and remove, you know what I mean? That's pretty accurate, Stumblefoot.
To reimagine that site, we're going to get a number of
You're going to get a number of people involved.
We want input.
They want input.
So I'm going to talk with some county.
But they don't want my input. They don't want your input. They don't want the people's input. He wants to talk to Tim Overton. He wants to talk to Brand. He wants to talk to his buddies to find out what they want. He doesn't want to talk, he wants to talk to some camping enthusiasts. He doesn't want to talk to the people that this is going to affect.
Well, I think you've hit the nail on the head there. The 2 scariest words in this entire speech so far have been blank slate.
Yeah, right. Blank slate. Yeah.
I don't like hearing those words come out of that man's mouth.
Because
bullshit schemes he's come up with.
Yeah, right. Good Lord, who knows what that could mean? Matter of fact, Kate, he even doubles down on that, and listen to what this is what he tells you here in a second what he's thinking of. He kind of lets you know where his pea brain is going.
To build penthouses out there.
Whoa, no, it's it's way worse than penthouses. And you wait till you hear. Yes, Mother, they did have a meeting last night, and this was not mentioned at all. Imagine
all the people are going to be pissed. Yeah, that's what he needs.
Oh, yeah. Imagine it and reimagine it and reimagined it. He's so short-sighted that he doesn't consider the economic impact outside of the... Yes. Absolutely. Correct, Clint. Yeah. All right, let's continue on here and listen to what he's saying.
I'm going to talk with camping enthusiasts. I'm going to talk with Indian American Water.
He's been doing that
talk with,
for 6 months.
Parks Board leadership. I'm going to talk with our park superintendent.
You know what? He could have showed up at the meeting last night. He could have let his park board know. He could have told. This is crazy.
No, this is Dan.
Yep. Doing
all
Dan.
Over. This is how Dan operates on everything. I tell no one anything. I go through every back channel, and then I dump a pile of shit on you. And you get to deal with whatever the repercussions are. Because I'm the mayor and I said so.
Yeah. Yes.
That's
absolutely.
how he does everything. So this is not a surprise. And it's not a surprise that in the process, it's been a case of bohica for every citizen of Muncie that pays fees or has campsites or anything else. Bend over because he's going to get you right up the ass again.
Yeah. That is absolutely true.
I'm going to go
That's
away
absolutely true.
Sorry, I'm taking over.
No, you're fine. I appreciate it. Here we go.
I'm going to talk with other interested parties so that we can, when we come back, we're going to have something that is positive and fits the needs of our community in the city of Muncie on those 36 acres. It's a real opportunity. And
we're going to have something positive. We're going to have something positive. Wait, what do you mean? Aren't we going to have a campsite? Why wouldn't we just have 100 campsites? I'm going to tell you what I think we're going to have. We're not there yet, but I'll tell you.
Other interested parties. Those are some other scary words.
Yes.
Deal with the con artists down in Tennessee.
Yes, blank slate, and there are a couple of key words that you never want to hear Dan Ridenour use. Blank
Dan
slate,
Ridenour.
Dan Ridenour. Yeah, I know. I'm gonna have to get used to that.
We'll
That's
work on
still
that.
gold. Yeah, we will work on that. That's gonna take some time, but it's gold still. Okay, here we go.
Oh, yes, it's gold.
Again, it's to reimagine and build back better whatever we end up putting on that particular 36-acre site that's on.
What do you mean, whatever you end up putting on that 36-acre? What do you mean? I thought it's going to be camping. Why is it not going to be camping?
1,200-acre lake. That is a wonderful opportunity for our citizens in Muncie. Our purpose is we want to do something positive. We want to do something fresh and new. And in order to do that, we have to take this step.
You're good, Clint. I
And
understand,
so
brother.
that's what we're doing. So that's what I wanted to announce to today. And I wanted to then I'll open this up for any questions that you may have.
But before we get to the questions, look here at what Timing Issue says. Look at Till Pond. That will be the new Prairie Creek. Or look at Till Pond. Nothing's going on out there. That's been in the works for 6 years, 5 years. And now look at this. Is this going to be? And I can already tell you who's it going to be. It's going to be Flatland Resources in charge of the work out there. Well, what are they doing? They're getting paid hundreds of thousands of dollars, but I don't know for what, because nothing is going on at Till Pond. They've pushed some dirt around and they've cleaned some trees out, but that was a long time ago. Nothing has happened since, but they keep getting paid, and I'm not seeing anything happening. So, yeah, it's going to be, they're going to be interconnected. Southway Plaza, it's all the same.
DW's got a great idea. Turn Southway Plaza into the new camping spot. And then all those dirty, drunk, nasty people can go out there and cause problems.
Yes,
and
yes.
I'll build my condos with GM, whatever the hell his name is.
GM Development.
And spend $12 million on property that the city doesn't own.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's the other part that I'm concerned about. This does not belong to the city. The city leases it.
Yeah.
So how can he do anything with it other than what the lease says it's for?
Oh, he's going to tell you. He's going to tell you here.
Oh, goody.
He basically tells us what's happening and what's not happening in this. It gets interesting from here. Now, this is the questions portion.
So essentially, you're talking about no camping.
Yes,
how
Rick?
much money do you intend to spend to redo the site?
At this point, we're not 100% certain.
How much money do you intend to spend on this reimagining event? And at this point, we're not 100% certain, because Indiana American Water, Admiral Eric, we lease it from Indiana American Water. So listen to this. He's not 100% certain on how much money. He's just not certain. You want me to tell you why? Because we just did the budget, and we know what's in the budget and what's not in the budget, and they didn't budget for a big plan out at Prairie Creek. Moreover, we're not capable, or we're not able to spend a whole lot of money here because it's not ours. It's Indiana American Water Company's. No budget, no plan, Dan Ridenour. So he's letting us know now. We're not spending any money on this out here. We just need to get everybody out of it. That's what we're needing to do. Didn't they cut money from the budget for Prairie Creek? I'm not sure. I will have to go back on that. I remember something being said. I'm not 100% sure, but I will look on that. Let's continue on here.
We just know that we don't feel like it's adequate. now, with how it operates, with the challenges, with how closely knit together everything is, it's just not working. And so we just know that we want to make it better.
Are you looking at what the water company talked about last spring of just going back to the original 50 campsites out there, the way it was a half a century ago?
That's an option.
It's an option going all the way back to 50. Build a new fire station in place of the campground. So an option is to go back to 50. That's an option. Okay. One option, but I'm not so sure that's it. Let's continue on.
They've not assigned that number. They've been very, they were fine. We've had a number of meetings with them over.
They have assigned it. It's in the lease. 54. 54. We're over it. They've not said anything, but the lease calls for 54. So there is an assigned number. We've been over it, but 54. Okay.
For the last year or so, and that is not something that they've assigned, but that is something.
Now, let me tell you something that I've heard. You just heard him say they've been talking for the last year or so. I have heard from many sources that Dustin Clark has been heavily involved in the conversations, the negotiations, the back and forth with Indiana American Water. And there have been times where it's just been him. And there are serious concerns coming from those within the administration that believe that he's obviously not the right person for the job, because he's clearly not. Club 54. So there's been some concern that Dustin has actually made this a bigger problem, and he's pissed off people with inside Indiana American Water Company because they don't like him, and that he carries himself as if he is the assistant or the deputy mayor to Dan. He's the deputy mayor. And keep in mind, he's just a contract employee, everybody. Nobody had a vote. Nobody concerned themselves with this. No one was part of this with him. And so he needs to be put in his place. Of course, he's not going to be with Dan, but, it is what it is. Let's continue going on. I wonder if he's getting paid by IAW. Well, yeah.
We're considering, if we can utilize that 36 acres, I mean, we
Right.
can do a number of things. We can put in a lot of playground equipment.
Listen.
We want to put in amenities that cause.
We could do a lot of things. We could put in a lot of playgrounds out there. Okay. We want to put in amenities that cause people to want to be there. Like the campsites they had.
People to want to be there, and amenities that the citizens of Muncie who pay for it are the ones who can utilize that. And so at this point, we don't know how we want to reimagine it, but we've got to have a clean slate before we can do that.
And do you face any pollution violations out there because of the wastewater problems that the state has identified?
I don't know. Violations is probably too strong. There were some concerns. We addressed those.
Right,
So
Alva?
I
So you have done work with the wastewater system?
Yeah. We have.
And how much do you spend out there a year? Couple $100,000, $500,000
For
Prairie Creek, the operation?
the whole thing of Prairie Creek spends about $800,000 or $900,000.
Oh, really?
Yes.
$800,000 or $900,000. The whole thing of Prairie Creek spends about $800,000 or $900,000. Listen to that, folks. In a year, the whole thing of Prairie Creek is about $800,000 or $900,000. Now, folks, let's take an axe to that and let's cut exactly half of it out. And let's say we're cutting $400,000 out of that. So now our budget for Prairie Creek, ladies and gentlemen, goes from 8 or 9 to 4,000 to 5,000, 500,000. Okay, 400,000, 500,000 from 800,000. That's a pretty big makeup. That's a pretty big gap.
I don't know that the expenditures are going to go down that much. Just because the campsite brings in $400,000 doesn't mean they spend $400,000 a year maintaining that.
No. Yeah, no, absolutely. 100.
So
Yeah.
you might lose $100,000 maintaining it, getting it ready, the electric, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But you're losing $400,000 in revenue that was going to run that place.
Yeah.
I promise
let's
you
see.
that they don't use $400,000 for that little campsite.
No. Let's say, yeah, and keep in mind the people that have boat. Listen. So my mother, her and my stepfather and her sister and her husband, they've got a pontoon boat out there and they do all this stuff. Okay. They don't camp out there. They don't have a camping area out there. So they are among the people out there that have an area out there, but they don't camp. There are a lot of people that do that. There are also people out there that camp but don't have a boat. But there's also a good number of people that camp and boat out there. They have a camp out there and they've got a boat out there. Well, if you're telling them they can't camp, they're going to pull their ass, their whole show out. They're not going to be the people that say, okay, well, we don't camp. They're not going to go park their camper someplace else and have their boat all the way down here. They're going to go find a place where they can camp and they can boat, and it's not going to be Prairie Creek. So we are going to have losses on the water too that we haven't, that I don't know if Dan's calculated in or not. I have no idea if he's done this, but yeah, that's exactly right. Let's say it's $200,000, the money going out to take care of that. They're still short $200,000. He's going to build affordable camping, Dan Ridenour. If you go down to 80 sites to cover that much revenue, it would be $5,000 a site. Absolutely. Okay, let's keep on going. We're getting close to what I think he's really thinking here. Let's listen to this.
And it's all self-supported. So we technically don't.
It is all self-supported. And part of the $400,000 that helps self-support it, you are getting ready to do away with. And it's shocking to me that he doesn't mention that.
Use tax money for that. That's revenue that comes in, and we tend to spend it with upgrades. I mean, we've added over 500 new floating docks, and that's all come from those resources. So that's how we attempted to do it. Yes, sir.
I know you said there isn't a price laid out just yet, but do you know how much the city would be willing to spend, how much they'd be willing to put into this?
When we determine what will be effective and fun and fresh and exciting for residents, I think we have proven in this administration, at least. I mean, we've added 4 splash pads. We've
added 4 splash pads. I'm telling you what, he's got to get off the damn splash pads. These splash pads have carried him for 6 damn years, and I, for one, am tired of it. Maybe they'll stick here's the plan. I think Dan's plan is to find a spigot and run a hose, crank it on there, stick that hose out there in the yard, run some water up it, and let you stick it up your ass. That's going to cost them whatever the cost of the hose is. Look, he's really protecting the amount of money. Like, look, we're fun. We've done 4 splash pads. 4 splash pads, and 5.5 of them don't work.
I don't think he understands what fun is, because as a grown-up, splash pad would be fun for my 4 or 5-year-old.
I don't even know that it'd be really fun for the 4 or 5. I mean, yeah, splash pad's like really baby-like.
Yeah. But anybody older than that,
well,
I don't know that I call that fun.
But keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, that Shireen Wegley, when asked about the cooling stations when it got hot a couple years ago, and people were mad at them because they didn't open City Hall as a cooling station. Shireen Wegley said that if you were having a heat stroke, or if you were having a heat issue, you as an adult should just go sit down in a splash pad, and that will take care of you. So,
well, if he's going to talk about things that are fun, then he needs to get the, Mr. Fun himself.
Mr. Fun involved. Yeah.
And Linda.
Yeah.
Because Linda
Will
knows
there be alcohol?
all about fun with no alcohol.
Yeah, right. I see that, Stumblefoot. Yeah, it's nuts. Well, we get some more here from him.
Upgrades to 15 other parks. I think this administration very much understands that in order for people to want to live and work here at the same time, not just work here, but to live here and be residents of Muncie, we need to have amenities. And we feel like Prairie Creek Reservoir is one of those great amenities. So I don't have a dollar figure in mind, but depending on what we come up with as a group,
yes. Timing issues.
We're interested in investing in our parks.
Not really,
That's
Karen.
a good quality of place issue. Yes, sir.
You mentioned that there was a list of issues that you've been receiving from the community.
There are a couple questions that come from people that I almost feel were planted there. And I think that this is one of those questions. I think that this was a plant.
What made this the best time to do this process?
Well, I think the biggest thing is the leases of the campsites that are out there now expired October 31st. And so I felt like if we're going to do this and reimagine what we're doing, then let's just do this now. And it was just a lot easier to do it now than we wouldn't do it in the middle of the season. So the leases expired October 31st.
So this is a fairly new idea that's coming forth to you.
Yes.
Gotcha.
I see. To me, I feel like that was a plant. I feel like that was a plant to be like, this is a new idea, right? So they could say this wasn't something that they've been working on or been talking about. I think that's complete bullshit. I think that he was given that question, and I think that I was standing next to this guy, and I don't know who he was. I didn't recognize him as any media there. He was, I don't know who he was. Maybe I'm wrong. That seemed like a planted question. That seemed like a planted. You stepped away for a second, Kate. I want you to hear this. I think that this kid asked this planted question. Listen to this and tell me, because you hear what he says.
The season. So the leases expired October 31st.
So this is a fairly new idea that's coming forth to you.
Yes.
Gotcha.
It's kind of like in court. It's like, dude, ask him the question and let him answer. You're now testifying for the witness. The kid said all the talking points. So it wasn't something that Dan had to do. You know what I mean? IT guy from the back, yes. Given certain questions to frame the plans just how they want. That's exactly right. This was very, very strange. Let me see here. Diller says, I don't think that's the case. It sounds like someone I know, but wasn't sure. But I think they were going for a gotcha. That was not thought. That it was not thought out and was new. That could be. Let me ask you this. Do you think it was someone from Newslink? If it was someone from Newslink, you could be right. If it wasn't someone from Newslink, or that's not who you're thinking of, then I don't know. And I don't know that guy was from. I don't know who that guy was. I didn't see him very well. It was just very strange. I don't know. There's another question here that I kind of thought was kind of funky, but we're almost done.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Is it possible something besides camping could go back there in the future?
Okay, that's me. I just asked, is it possible that something besides camping could go back here in the future? Ding, ding, ding on the screen. We see absolutely. I mean, he didn't, I think that was a planted question. He didn't even let me get it out of my mouth before he started answering. before he started answering, and like he answered that quickly. That was crazy.
Good question.
Is it possible something besides camping could go back there in the future?
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I'm not a big pickleball player, but you could put 24 pickleball courts in there with stadium seating and have all kinds of events.
You could put 24 pickleball courts there. And stadium seating. What? That's obvious. I'm just going to let you know, when I heard this, I knew the fix was in. I'm going to tell you right now, they might put some camping back in. They might put some camping back in, folks. It's going to look like this. It's going to look something like this. Now, it might not be right on top of each other like this. Okay. It might be, look, they might have 15 or 20 campsites, and it's going to be no longer than 7 days. It's going to be a place that you can pull in a travel camper. You can hook up to the power box. You can hook up to the toilet tubes, and you can camp there for a night. You can camp there for a weekend. You can camp there for a week. But they're going to have, it's not going to be long-term camping. It's not going to be, if ever camping starts back out here, I fully believe it is not going to be spring to fall camping. It will not be spring to fall camping. It's going to be a little parking lot for the pedestrian trailhead. I don't think they're going to pave out there. He can build his glass bridge there in the shape of a butt plug. Okay, let's go on here. Hey, real quick, I do want to say this big shout out because I want you guys to hear. Okay, where are we at? We're at 1458. 1458. I want you guys to hear this. Okay. Let me click 1458, 1456, 1456. So here, this is 1456. This is the city of Muncie's.
Let's figure out what makes it attractive for people to choose Muncie as a place they want to live.
That's the city of Muncie. Okay. I now want to take us back and let you hear this. Okay. Oops. That's comical. That is comical that happened. Stand by. Oops. We're just messing everything up here. Give me 1 second, folks. Okay, right here we go. Now listen to this.
For people to choose Muncie.
The loud one, this was provided by Cameron Grubbs, Delaware County. I forget exactly what his thing is, but I want to give a shout out to Cameron for providing this. Cameron's got the captions, the closed captions down at the bottom, and the boosted audio, and I want to thank him for that. I've already got a question from someone in City Hall because I said great job. Like, how does it feel to be up Cameron's ass? And I was like, oh, it's nice in here. But it's just like, why? Because he provided a boosted audio. We can hear it. And if you don't have time to read this, if you go to where I will put his link in the description of the YouTube video, he actually put the transcript with the times in his description of his video. Thank you. You know what I mean? Like, that's cool. If we had someone from City Hall that could maybe do that with our videos, if like we had like, say, a communications department or something like that, that would be cool. You know, if we had interns or outturns or contracted people. What's Dustin doing all day long when he's getting paid $150,000? You know what I mean? Like, maybe he could sit down and do some work. some real actual work that could help the citizens, no, that's too much. You can't do that.
Stay. And so that's what we want to do. And it could go back as all campsites.
It could go back. I mean, look right there. It could go back as all campsites. It may go back.
It may go back as
probably some combination of some campsites and other amenities.
Some combination of some campsites.
I'm telling you right now. It's going to be a handful of short-term campings. Maybe they'll have 5 to 10 pop-up areas where you can pop up a tent. Maybe they'll have 1 or 2 or 3, 4 of those little shed things again, and then they might have 5 to 10 or 15 of those. You can pull your camper in and stay 1 to 7. One day, 7 day, maybe 30 days. But it won't be anything. I doubt that. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. That's Admiral Eric. That's a very good possibility.
And other amenities.
Did you notify the leaseholders before you had this announcement?
I
Or
talked
did the park board?
The park board has been part of. We had a meeting on Monday.
All right. I want to clarify this. The new shed town. Oh, God. Yeah. We'll go back. We'll go back to that. So this is very interesting. So first of all, Rick's asking him about Indiana American Water. Now they had a meeting with Indiana American Water, the city of Muncie, and 2 members of the park board. And I want to lay this out. So the city of Muncie members, whoever was in the city of Muncie, Dan Ridenour, maybe Carl Malone, maybe Dustin Clark was there. Indiana American Water was there. Brad Marshall was there as the park board president. And Mark Irvin was there as the city legal counsel. But Mark Irvin also holds a dual role. Mark Irvin is the city attorney, but he is also on the park board. So he and Brad Marshall were there. But for whatever reason, they did not inform the other park board members. They let the park board meeting go on last night, talking about the process for campers to come in and appeal if they get asked to leave, and going ahead, and they're going to have to do something. We're going to have to sit down and do something really soon with how many campers we can actually have there. They made those people sound like absolute idiots. Listen, I'm not good in the title department. Delaware County Advocate. I would much rather just call these episodes by their number. This is episode 561, episode 562. My title department comes from number 1, Brandon Rudd, then Kate. But I'm probably going to have to start bouncing some ideas off of you, because you are known for the wit. And so maybe I'm going to have to start doing that in the future, because you've had some good shit here this evening. So, well, and in the past as well. But yeah, that's a shame.
And 2 of the park board members were part of that, including the president. So they are aware.
That made it seem a little weird. 2 of the park board, including the president. So yeah, okay. He's just so weird how he does things. But Rick asked him if he notified Indian American Water, and he completely deflected that and went straight to the park board.
I did tell the president of Indiana American Water.
But apparently he did tell the president.
Will this affect the camping on the other side where they do like the day camping or the cabins?
And I know that he'd been saying it, but I just wanted to double check just because he was saying no camping. So I asked this question, and he did say, well, he says no. So this is not going to affect. So there can be camping in Prairie Creek next year. Those 5 camping sites and the pop-ups, you can do that. However few they have there.
Well, no, we're not impacting that.
Okay.
So South Shore is not impacted with this action.
That's right, Delaware County.
So be just the 36 plus acres that's in that range that are the North Shore. Good question. Any other questions?
Is there any incentive to if
Wow, Dan gave me a good question. Thank you, Dan.
camping returns to make it less of a long-term situation? I mean, obviously, some people have had sites out there for decades.
Yeah, I've
Some
seen.
of the structures out there appear to be permanent type structures.
Yes, that's something we've considered very much. So we have been doing a lot of research on some of the state parks that have overnight camping. And we know
Here it
that's an option that we can look at. So
That's what there's State Ran Media Doug Walker coming in and asking, is there any plans to make this less than long term? Dan's like, well, yes, Doug. Yes, Doug, there is.
That a lot of this is early concept, but is there any kind of time frame you guys have laid out for when you'd want to get an idea confirmed and start working on it?
Well, obviously, we know where the site is and what's there. We know that as long as we're not going to do any work and put in new driving paths and so forth or spread it out. So
They're not going to do any work. They're not going to do any new parking paths. They're not going to go out there and pave. They're not going to put in parking lot. They're not going to do that stuff. Can you imagine finding out that you're going to get kicked off your decades-long held campsite this way? No, I can't. You know, and I'll be honest, as bad as it sucks for those people, as bad as it sucks for them, could you imagine just getting hired by Prairie Creek here in the last little bit and having a job out there and working really hard and getting to know the guys and really getting the camaraderie up and finding out, holy shit, our budget's going to be cut by half next year. Our budget's going to be cut in half because of some bullshit deal that's going on. Because we don't know how to negotiate as a city. Because we send Dustin Clark to do a man's job. You know, that kind of insanity. Listen, I got called by actual city employees today who are worried. More than one call, several calls. People would be shocked. I know that people think that I lie when I say that. One of these days, I'm going to do what Delaware County Advocate said. You know, Delaware County Advocate said a while back that I need to do a 24-hour challenge where I need to just go live and be live for 24 hours, for a 24-hour period. And I'll be honest, the one thing that stopped me from doing that is the number of calls that I take from sources from different things. People calling from sources from the city, people calling from Delaware County, people calling from Madison County or Newcastle or Indianapolis or something from the State House. And I'm going to have to just be like, all right, folks, for this 24-hour period, you cannot bother me. I'm not going to be able to take your call. But then it wouldn't be fun. I'd be like, you're going to call me. I'm just not going to answer, because people would shit themselves if they found out actually, truthfully, honestly, that I'm not lying when I say that. And I just say that to say that there's people that's legitimately worried about this, and they didn't get a heads up from their boss privately. They didn't get a special sit down meeting where they could listen to this and ask him questions. They found out the same time everybody else did, or after works. It's put him on speaker. It's complete bullshit how he did this. Complete bullshit.
There are 234 packed in. We're not going to do any of that until all the campers are gone. So, but I'll start getting information from people right away on what their thoughts might be, what might be positive, what people might want. And I've had some of those conversations with others in the Parks Department already. Yes, sir.
What do you believe the hardest part of this transition is going to be?
Well, I think, and I think Walker pointed it out, there are people who have had sites there for a number of years. But these are year to year, those were year to year leases. There's no, their term ended October.
Yeah, that would be good.
We're just not going to lease anything. I had no interest in picking and choosing. So we're going to go with a clean slate and figure out how we can reimagine it. My hope is that we can do something in 27, but it depends.
Okay. All right. So this is the next little bit of interesting work that we find out right here at the end. He kept saying this is for 2026. So that's why I put in my announcement today, I put up, when I put out the news and that this was happening, I said basically breaking news. Mayor Dan Ridenour has just announced the city of Muncie will not lease any of the 234 camp sites in 2026. Link to the video, and I put the video. The city plans to reimagine the area, which could include fewer campsites, something totally different, or a combination of fewer campsites along with something different. Mayor Ridenour stated that he hoped this would only take a year, all of 2026, but he was not making that guarantee. Okay, listen. So he said that, he hopes to be done by 2027, but it depends on how we can get it all put together. And here's where he says it. You hear him say it clearly.
On how we can get it put together.
So you're not guaranteeing it's only going to take a year then?
I want it to take a year, but no, I'm not going to guarantee that.
I want it to take a year, but no, I'm not guaranteeing that.
Anything?
Yes.
Probably good that he's not going to guarantee it's only going to take a year, because wasn't Southway Park supposed to only take like a year? And
Yeah, it was going to take a year, and we were going to have
Till Pond was going to be a year. And,
the Till Pond was
going
to be
done in 6 months.
Oh yeah, the crisis center was going to be up and running from October to June. It was going to be up and running.
Yeah, that was going to be like another 6-month project. I mean, Karen's great comment here. Hardest part, LOL, Dan knowing what the hell he's doing.
Yes, that's hilarious.
Else. Okay. Thank you all for being here. Did everybody who needed one of these?
They have about 18 months from now if they want to hope to reopen in late May of 2027. That's very interesting. That is really interesting. So from now until November of 2027 is a year. So from November 2025, November 19th, 2025 to November 19th, 2026, that's 12 months. December, January, February, March, April, May. Okay, 6 months. So that 18 months. If they hope to, I kept saying hoping. If they're hoping to open, they got 18 months, and that's really important to think about. I mean, when we talk about stuff in politics, man, you got to realize that it goes boom, bang, pow. The council meetings and all of that stuff, they're only meeting once a month. So there's only 12 meetings, and shit happens really quickly. So Very, very interesting. So that's the end, I think.
Step one.
Let me see if something. I think Doug asked something else.
Just from Beacon. I just want you to know where it is in case you weren't. So,
Do you happen to have any concept of how many of the people who last camping season?
This is interesting. Oh, listen to this question, because one of the things that I've heard that Dan has been bitching about wanting to just close it and to do away with it, because that's, I'm telling you, Dan has been telling people up there that he would just assume close it all and not do camping, because Prairie Creek is not in the city of Muncie, and even though it's a city park, the majority of the people that use it aren't from the city of Muncie. Okay, that's what he says. So the people that he's using aren't even paying for it. Okay, so let's listen to this. Let me see here. Let me see what's going on here. They have about 18 months from now. This thing will probably last the entirety of the rest of his term. But of course, no planning or budgeting has been done. Of course, it's a solid point. If he's not done by May of 2027, that's, yeah.
We're out there for Muncie residents.
I do. I know.
What?
Oh, you want me to tell you?
Yeah.
101.
All right. Okay. So right there, folks, right there. Out of 234 campsites, 101 of them are from the city of Muncie. Okay. So, I mean, that's what's got his panties in a bunch. There's 133 people out there camping that don't pay taxes into the city of Muncie.
Yes, they do. If they're coming here and camping, they're buying gas, they're buying groceries, they're shopping, they're going out to eat.
Yeah,
they are contributing still.
100%. You know that. I know that. I would figure Dan would know that, but he's been griping about
my
it.
job.
Mm-hmm.
We have people who come from across the country that spend one night here at the asylum, and they order pizza, they buy gas, they go to Walmart and they go shopping, they go to the gas station and pick up water bottles or batteries or whatever. They're putting, some of them will book a hotel.
Yeah.
They're putting money back into the community when they come and they stay here.
Absolutely, 100%.
They are not freeloading off of the back of Muncie taxpayers.
Yeah.
That's bullshit.
Yeah, 100%. So Doug, and I will give it to Doug. This is a pretty good question. So of the 234 people that are there camping, how many? 101 people are from Muncie. That's a lot of. That's you're figuring that this is husband and wife. So that's 101. So you're figuring out that that's 202 voters. That's 202 voters that he's pissing off. He could have blamed IAW and then ran on making it better. I may be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure I'd heard someone say he was planning. No. Listen, he is planning on running again. So just to be clear, and we've talked about this for a while, Ridenour always stated that he would only do 2 terms. He ran in 2019. He said, "I'm gonna make Muncie better in this first term." That was a joke. And then he ran for re-election, and that was done. And that's when he won. I said, "Okay, well, you know what? At least he's done." And sadly, I heard in February of 2020. Wait, when 2023 was the election, 2024 he took office. So, yeah, I heard in February of 2024 that his wife said that he would be seeking a 3rd term. I think we switch back and forth between Ridenour and Ridenour. I think both of those work. I think that's fantastic. Now, I will tell you, because my grandpa keeps saying he's going to be here till he don't want to be here anymore, which is probably true. But he's not going to do more than 3 terms. If he runs, which he is going to run this 3rd term, it will be it. So that's the one thing I keep telling myself. But we don't want him to win a 3rd term. We don't want that. But all right, so we get this. So we get the deal where we find out that 101 of the 234 are from Muncie. So that leaves us 133 other people. Well, if he knew that 101 people was from Muncie, surely he has to know where the other 133 people are. Or maybe if he doesn't know where they all are from, maybe he knows how many are from Delaware County. Because while I get it, as the mayor of Muncie, he needs to take care of the citizens of Muncie first. As the mayor of Muncie, as the capital, as the county seat, as the big city in Delaware County, and as the biggest city here in East Central Indiana, he really has an obligation to not only be thinking about the city of Muncie, but also to be thinking about Delaware County and beyond. So I wanted to find out what else. Okay, let's find out here.
Of the 234 were all that were Muncie residents.
I know you said that the leases for the camping sites ended October this year. So are there people currently there, or is
There's nobody there.
Okay.
But there are some who paid extra to leave their camper there. And they have to remove it by March 31st.
Okay, perfect.
But there's no camping there, but there is some equipment.
So if you're aware that the 101 were Muncie residents, of the others, do you know how many were from Delaware County? Or is there a mixture from Delaware County or outside of Delaware County?
I was not able to obtain that.
That's
I did ask the same question, but I wasn't able to get that number exactly.
Well, wait a minute. You weren't able to get that number exactly. What did you get?
All right, thank you all.
So that was it. That's that. Listen, the old adage is if you screw with Prairie Creek, it kills your political career. That's been the adage in Delaware County and the city of Muncie for a long time. You can't screw with the Prairie Creek. If you do it, it's a political career killer. And it's been that way for a long time. It's just not a good thing to do. The people of Prairie Creek, the people who go out there are very passionate about Prairie Creek. They are very protective of Prairie Creek and their time out there and what it means, the getaway, the being able to just get out of the nonsense and relax for a bit. And so it's going to be interesting to see what happens. Now, somebody's got to run that can beat him, that can stand up next to him. And hopefully that happens, but it's going to be an uphill battle. It's going to be interesting to see how long this takes. I guess we're going to have to start a countdown or count up, see how long this takes and to see what happens. I'm putting it out here right now. Yes, timing issues. That is 100%. Ron is rolling over in his grave. And for those of you that don't know who we're referring to, that's Ron Bonham, former Celtic basketball player and longtime Prairie Creek supervisor. Just a hell of a good guy. A Democrat, a local Delaware County Democrat, but he was liked and trusted on both sides. Definitely a good old boy, one of the old school good old boy Delaware County Democrat politicians, but he did it on both sides, and everybody liked and respected him. I loved Ron. Ron is one of those guys that was very instrumental in me getting involved politically and being around in politics. He always talked to me and helped me out and gave me advice. And I truly miss Ron. Yeah, so he is definitely rolling over in his grave. But just a crazy turn of events. I knew he was going to do this. I wish I would have said it and put it out there. Doesn't matter. It's stupid. I was shocked. I felt like time slowed down when I was standing in there. I was like, dude, I cannot believe he's really saying this. I just talked to my grandfather this last weekend. And I told my grandpa, I wish my grandparents had a long day today, so they were laying down. They didn't watch the show. Maybe they'll watch it tomorrow. But I just told my grandpa this last weekend, Dan's getting ready to do away with the camping out there. And Grandpa's like, oh, he better not do that. He better not do that. He better not do that. And I went out there to see him today, and I was like, yep, he did it. He just couldn't believe it, man. Totally crazy. So, okay, that is it for the Dan news. I've got two really quick little things. We're going to get out of here really quickly. I just have to read this statement. I want to read this statement from Catherine. I think that this is very important. Catherine sent this. Where? Okay, here we are. I was trying to find out where she sent it to. So there is a very important meeting tomorrow in Madison County. It is an election board oops. Sorry here. Okay, sorry. Okay, so there's a really important meeting tomorrow in Madison County, and I'm going to it. It's at 2 p.m. It is the Madison County Election Board meeting. I'm going to find out what the hell they've been doing. They have been meeting every month all year long in a non-election cycle, which is very strange. And they've been playing really kind of fast and loose with the meeting announcement periods and doing all of that stuff. And Catherine wrote this statement 2 hours ago and published it. And it's so fitting. It's fitting for Madison. It's fitting for Delaware. It's fitting all over. So I want everybody to listen to this. Democracy shouldn't require a midday hall pass. It's always the same playbook. Hold the Madison County Election Board meeting Thursday, November 20th, 2025 at 2 p.m., precisely when so many are at work and the public's gallery quietly empties while insiders stay comfortably in place. Daytime meetings aren't a convenience. They are strategic. They are a strategic tactic. When the doors open while most citizens are clocked in, accountability doesn't walk through the front door. That's the point. The board includes Republican Michelle Daniels, elected clerk, and Republican Linda Smith, and former senator, attorney Democrat Tim Lannon. The three of them sat at the table, overseeing the machinery of democracy for all of the residents of Madison County. And yet this meeting time says loud and clear, we keep the public at arm's length. When the rules for the public participation are set while the public is at work, transparency becomes selective. Participation becomes a privilege instead of a right. Information, the lifeblood of a healthy democracy, republic, whatever you want to, you know what I mean. She's just writing here. I'm reading this. She's writing. Is rational when it benefits those in charge. We have no idea what Tuesday's agenda hides behind convenient scheduling, but history has taught us well. Rules bend for insiders while the rest of us are expected to obey without question. Power protects itself. It always has. Why public attendance matters. When people show up, officials know their actions are being seen. Their words are being heard. The mere presence of citizens in the gallery changes the dynamics. It reminds the board that this work belongs to the community, not just to those that hold titles. Public oversight helps prevent errors, abuse, and the kinds of "we'll just trust you" culture that corrodes trust. According to a 2021 survey by the Brennan Center for Justice, only 36% of Americans say they trust election accuracy. A sharp reminder that citizen participation plays a crucial role in restoring confidence in our institutions. Election integrity isn't a slogan. It is the promise that government belongs to the people, all the people, not just the ones with a title, a little key card, a front row seat, or a front row seat to a backroom conversation. This isn't about one meeting. This isn't about the meeting tomorrow in Madison County. Hell, it's not even about meetings in Madison County. It is about a pattern. It's about a culture of control, a government that too often forgets who it works for. And the irony, they count on us being too busy, too tired, too discouraged to show up. But here's the truth. We are paying attention. The people that are paying attention is starting to grow. We aren't leaving the room even when they try to lock the doors at 2 p.m. or whenever they lock the doors. I'll talk about that in a moment too. Please remember, democracy belongs to the voters, not the officials who fear being questioned by us. On a side note, who knew CEB has been meeting, the election board has been meeting every month since January. Very strange that they've been meeting that much when we have not had an election cycle going on over there. It's very, very strange. And they've been doing some very questionable things, in my opinion. So that's a very good statement. I very much agree with her on that. And it fits all over. It fits not just for the election board meeting. It fits for everything. The other aspect I want to say is the Madison County Council meeting last night started at 6 p.m. and it ran until 9 p.m. At some time at about 8:30, a couple of citizens tried to get into the meeting and were unable to get into any of the doors around the Madison County complex. They walked up to where the sheriffs normally sit, the deputies that let people in, and nobody was there. The doors were locked. The meeting continued on, and the public could not attend. I started feverishly texting elected officials. I started feverishly texting people sitting in the meeting. I was texting Catherine. I was putting it on the feed. But unfortunately, nobody saw or done anything about that until about 20 minutes after my initial text. And unfortunately, those citizens were turned away. That is an open door violation. That is a problem. That is a major issue. And it doesn't matter that Bethany Keller stopped the meeting, called point of order, and said, ooh, somebody's got to go check the door, because then what happens is two people go down, check the door, and they said, oh, nobody's here, and they walked their asses back to the council room. Someone needs to be parked at that door from the time the meeting starts, before the meeting starts, so people can get in, until after the meeting is closed. Not get up halfway through, not get up 10 minutes, not say, well, there's 2 more minutes in the meeting, we're leaving early. That door needs to be unlocked for the entirety of the meeting, from before the gavel to after the gavel, and until everybody's out of there. And that is a major problem. I am going to work with those citizens in trying to file a public a complaint with the public access counselor. That is a closed door violation. It doesn't matter that there were public in there. It doesn't matter that they were live streaming. Public could not get into that door. And it doesn't matter that they stopped the meeting for just a few seconds to have some dumbass walk down and say, well, nobody's here, and then walk back down. That doesn't cut it. People were kept out of attending that meeting, and that is a problem. I have a major issue with that. Okay. I wanted to say that. Okay. Lastly. I want to talk about this because I don't know if this is going to be something that is made into something, or if it's not going to be made into something. I really don't know. I when I first heard about this, I thought, ooh, this probably is going to be something. But then in pretty quick order after that, I watched this thing and I thought, oh yeah, this is not going to be anything. This is not going to be anything. So starting late last night into today, I heard that some folks, I'm just going to tell you, the person that comments frequently in this chat and others, I don't know who else is involved, but the Megan that generally will be in here chatting periodically, and a couple of other people had somehow came upon a video that was made in 2013 by a group of individuals, and the group of individuals that made the video were, give me a second here and I will read this off to you. 1 second. I want to be sure to give you all the information. Oh, yeah, right here it is. Sorry, I don't know what I was doing. Okay, so right here it is. History, that would have done it. Okay, so the group of individuals that made this put this on a YouTube account. I'm not going to announce the YouTube account at this point, and I'll explain why here in a minute. But I'll tell you where you can go see this if you want to see it. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to tell you both of them. Okay, so you can go see this. This can be found on an account called it's Megan's account called, I don't even know what the hell it's called. Silver Lining of Hope on YouTube. So she's got it there. And then the other place.
Send them to the actual.
And then the other one is, and I'm going to post this here because I feel like it needs both context. Then the other one is Yoke. YOKE, Yoke. And you can see it at both areas, both places. The description on Yoke reads as follows, okay? It says, November 11th, 2024, from the outer darkness, where destiny is already written, comes a divisive midnight movie interpretation, The Man of Dust. The dramatic sci-fi epic testimony of Ox-1's profound Earth re-entry, featuring Wade Forerunner and George C. Scott's desperate covert op to blot out the transgressions of their former selves in hopes of escaping the judgment. Wade has been granted access to the timeline into omnipresence, yet cannot recall the encrypted plan, the inner cut. He sent George from the future. George has limited timeline access and has waited years to meet Wade, but must decipher the inner cut, which is only re-accessible via theater screenings of Patton without clarification. This makes no sense. You'll get it here in a minute. The Man of Dust, written for the screen, directed, shot on location, edited, scored, and produced in Japan and North America, April 2005 through August 2013. The Man of Dust 2013 movie is rated R, 110 minutes of drama, sci-fi midnight movie, directed by, storied by, screenplayed by, music score by, starring and a couple of people. Release date 3 November 2014. The Man of Dust 2013, copyright 2013, Yoke LLC, all rights reserved. Okay, so the parts that I've left out of this is, it says featuring Wade Forerunner, and that's the actor, or that's the character in the movie. He is played by a man called Kurt Anderson. Kurt Anderson is the man who shot through the door and hit Maria on November 5th, 2025. He's the man that's in jail. The other actor is Eric Pauly, and they have a couple of other people that act with him. Directed by Kurt Anderson, story by Kurt Anderson, screenplay by Kurt Anderson, musical score composed and performed by Kurt Anderson, starring Eric Pauly, Kurt Anderson, Joseph Manu, and Ben Schwartz. Now I'm going to tell you, this movie is like a fever dream. The movie is like you know how there'll be like B horror movie films. This is not like a B movie. It's like an H level or even less. It might be like a W or a Y level. Okay. This is like an artsy fartsy art college wannabe movie where they're trying to be, you know, so hip and trying to do things that are above the people's heads, and it's got to be far out, man. It's very psychedelic. It makes no sense. It's nonsensical. I'm going to tell you, he should be charged for making this movie. Okay. He should be charged for the single act of making the movie. The movie is terrible. Okay. I'm going to tell you, in the movie, they talk a bunch of babble and whatever. It's science. It's a sci-fi movie. There's some mild violence in the movie. There's a scene where one of the characters talks to a woman who I'm pretty sure is Kurt Anderson's wife, Yoshi, because I read the credits, and I think that the female is Yoshi. I think it might be the wife, and but the character she plays is 16 years of age. And he's talking to her, and the character says, like, you're underage, we're going to have sex. And he makes her sign a document. There is no real life pedophilia that goes on in the film. It's all movie magic bullshit. Okay. This is no more or less a sign that anyone involved with this film is a killer, has homicidal thought. There's nothing in this film that makes me believe that anyone has mental issues, no more or less than the person that wrote, directed, starred in, whatever, Saw, or any horror movies where they chop people up. I've seen better movies. I've seen worse movies. This is a bad movie. Okay. It's look at Stanley Kubrick's work. Absolutely. This is just nonsense. Okay. I'm going to show you a very, very short little clip here just to let you see a little bit of what's going on here. It's total insanity. Very hard to kind of have an understanding of what's going on. And the whole movie looks like this. Okay. There's never a normal part of the scene. Okay. It all looks like this.
You would repeat the 12th grade to tidy up that 1591 SAT 9 4 points. Son, I would be remiss.
As a 35-year-old, simultaneously experiencing the thoughts and feelings of you, yet unable to discern that these two men are the same person.
Perhaps it's my clear
I don't even know who Kurt Anderson is in here. I can't even tell. I can't even tell who he is. Which one of these is supposed to be Kurt Anderson?
God damn it! Put over that shit in here!
Okay.
Honorable KX1, I have worshipped your lordship all of my days on X, but I can no longer serve you, for he also said unto me.
This is just what it is.
Now depart from this dreadful place, for he is likewise not denied you awake.
Okay, here. I believe this is his wife.
Put away your crowns. Oh, there's just.
All right, so that's it. I'm not gonna watch her spend any more time on that. Yeah, listen. I got to be honest. It's got very few views, and listen. I don't think that people should rush there and see it. I don't. It is what it is. Go see it if you want to see it. Whatever. It currently has 1,469 views. There are 8 subscribers. Okay. On the video that she put out, and in all fairness, her video has 78 views. Okay. In all fairness, she didn't edit anything. I watched them at the same time. I watched her video and his video to make sure there was nothing edited. She said she didn't, and I believe her. I don't think she would have done anything like that. And in her description, I want to read her description. Her description says, Kurt Douglas Anderson, 2014 video by the man charged in the death of Maria Flor-Norda Rios Perez Diaz Garcia III. Okay, it says, this is public 14 video created by Kurt Douglas Anderson, the man now charged in the death of Maria in Whitestown, Indiana. I am sharing this video to provide the public context, transparency, and discussion, as it has remained publicly accessible for years. This repost is shared under fair use, blah, 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 including commentary, criticism, education, research, public interest, and news reporting. Although none of that happens she doesn't break the video down or whatever. She basically just shares it, which I don't know actually falls under fair use or not. I don't know. Whatever. I don't really, it's not a big deal. Important notice. If this video generates any review, 100% will go directly towards maintaining Maria's website, justiceofmaria.com, and the other one, including hosting, updates, required service fees, and any additional funds beyond those costs will be donated to the family. This ensures that no profit of any kind is connected to Kurt Anderson or the tragedy involving Maria. Search terms for accessibility: Kurt Douglas Anderson video, Anderson 2014 film, Maria Florinda Rosa Perez case, Whitestown, Indiana shooting, archived Anderson video, Anderson public footage, Anderson defendant video, Indiana case updates, Maria Rose Perez justice, public awareness, Indiana. Okay, and that's all that was posted there. So the thing I'm concerned about is there are comments where there are people say, wow, what a sick psycho, good investigative work. To which, I put, what does this prove? And then Megan posted a part of his, a part of the script that he reads. He or someone reads at 31 minutes into it, I fucking hate people. I just want to kill people. I just want to kill people. Okay. Yeah. The character who is either George C. Scott or I think his character is OPX1. I think that's an alien. Said that. I don't think that's being said by Kurt Anderson. I don't think that this is a manifesto. I think that this is a shitty college wannabe art film that he and some freak friends made over the couple years in Japan and North America. So it is what it is. If you watch this and this makes you think that he's guilty, you should question what goes on. If you watch this, that's on you. I watched it. It was horrible. It was god awful. I would love to get my my 110 minutes back, because there wasn't anything groundbreaking in there. Moreover, nothing changed my mind. I'm still at the same place I was. So I say that I hate I say that I hate people 18 times a day. Yeah, right. Absolutely. And so it is what it is. I don't think that this is, and to be fair, I don't know where her head is with this exactly, because it doesn't say. I don't know if she's trying. I mean, it looks like you're trying to, it looks like the point is, and other people commenting are trying to say, look, he's crazy because of this. But look at the people who made Saw. Look at the people, movie magic. I watch dinosaurs, in Jurassic Park. I watched people get killed in Saving Private Ryan. I watched a whole bunch of people get killed in Nightmare of Elm Street, and a man came out of their dreams, and that's not real life. It's not, these things are not documentaries. They are fantasy. And so we need to be careful with that, not mix fantasy and reality, and just be careful with that. That's A Clockwork Orange. Oh, yes, a little of the ultraviolence. Absolutely. Milko Plus. It's about time to go get some Milko Plus. So I'm going to get off here so we can do that. Let you guys do what you're going to do. Just don't put on any Beethoven's Fifth. If you know. Never got to see that. You might go see it. You might Google it and go see it in your chair right now. That is a great movie. What I would tell you, don't watch it. Get the book, read the book, maybe a couple of times. It's a very quick read, and then watch it. It's amazing. But read it and then watch it. So, all right. Other than that, don't waste your time on watching this movie. I don't even know what the name of it is. Midnight Dust, Man of Dust, or something like that. It was nonsense. I wrote, do you think there will be a sequel? That's what I wrote on her showing. I was like, do you think there'll be a sequel? So it is. How can you hate Beethoven the dog? He's adorable. All right, you guys, take care. God bless. Have a good evening. We'll see you tomorrow. We'll be back here. I'll obviously follow what's going on with Dan and all this shit with Prairie Creek. We've got a lot of stuff going on. Still looking into what's going on with Dustin. There's a lot of stuff happening, and we'll keep you all posted. We'll see you back here tomorrow at 9. Take care. God bless each and every one of you. Have a great, what is tomorrow? Thursday. And yeah, tomorrow's Thursday. That's the end of the week, the last show of the week. All right. Take care. Good night. Bye.